So I returned for the Diablo 4 new expansion, Lord of Hatred. Is it the name of the expansion? Yeah, I think it is. So I returned back to it to find out if D4 is still bad. And do I have the answer for that? I don't know. We'll have to discuss it first. First and foremost, I have to say that I'm biggest, no, not biggest, I don't think that I'm biggest fan, but I'm a super huge fan of the Diablo 4, Diablo in general franchise. I love the theme, I love the grittiness of it. It changed over the years, you know, we don't have to talk about that, but in general, like the idea of it, the hells fighting the angels, and in the middle we are there and just try to figure it out what's going on, is just beautiful concept, and I really like the idea. We just want the best we can get. Yeah. Not all of the iteration of the Diablo that was released to us was not the best, right? But as we say, everybody on the internet, Diablo 2 is still the staple of the RPGs, and 4 is trying to do its own thing now. So let's go get to it. So because the Diablo 4 was in making for the longest time, right? Like 10 years or 12 years, I don't know how long, but it was a long time. I was excited about the 4 of release, right? After the 3 long pause from the tree, I was like, okay, this will be nice. There were a lot of skeptical people and so on, right? But I was like, you know, I will give it a shake. So when it was released, I jumped into it and I had a ton of fun. I played hardcore and I had, that was increasing my funness of the game quite a lot, I would say. So I played the hardcore, I spent a lot of hours into the game, and I played all the classes and everything. I was just blasting through, I had a good time, I was creating my own builds and stuff. I was not really checking out whatever is on the internet, and after a while, after I got to the end game, after I got through those things, you will just start to see the cracks, right? You start to see like not everything is also as okay. There are systems that are not completed, there are things that are missing. It's just not as good as could be, right? It felt like it's not finished. The variety of the monsters is not there. You're just meeting bandits. There are red scarf and yellow scarf with a different like weird, but you know, okay. I went through that. After that, the new season was released, so I returned back for a little bit. I was like, okay, this is nice. And then second season released, and I was done. I saw this. I think I played 15 minutes, maybe maximum. I don't know. I think like 15 minutes or so I played a season 2. I was like, I'm done. This game have nothing to like give me anymore. I feel like the expansion or season content that Diablo is producing is not strong. I feel like that there is nothing interesting for me. Why should I go for that loop again if that loop is not complete and is not as fun as it could be? So I was done with the season 2, and they got me with the expansion, Vessel of Hatred. I was like, okay, this is kind of cool, the aesthetics and everything like that. You know, you will go to the Huntu. I was sold by that. That will be kind of change of scenery. So I bought the expansion. I was like, okay, especially for the story, you know, let's go through the story. That was the worst part, like by far. The story was so bad. Oh my god, yeah, this was painful. So I went through that story, I went through those endgame systems, I went through it. I was like, you know, it's a little bit better, but still, there's so much bad in the game. Well, I was not impressed, not at all. And especially the campaign that was end with the cliffhanger, it was so weird. I felt like I am in the series. You have that to be continued. Any show that the release cadence is by week, right? That you have the story that you are invested, and now it will end. It will tell you, okay, that's it, and return the next week for another episode, and you will know how it continues, right? So that's how it felt to me when the campaign ended. But problem was, it was not released next week, it was not released next month, it was released with next expansion that I will have to pay for it. So I was like, this is not right. This should be ended. There should be like a conclusion to the story, at least somehow. And yeah, in the next expansion, they will throw there like something, and I was like, oh my god, it's different than I thought it was. And that's awesome, but it was bad. I didn't enjoy that as much. And after that, I have not touched Diablo 4 at all. I was just keeping touch through the videos and stuff, like see if there's something interesting, but I have not really played myself. And there was a new expansion announced, and I kind of started caring about it when it was about to release. I was like, okay, so what do you got for me? I have to say, the marketing, especially like the things that they were saying about the game, would they improve, would they work on, and so on. I was like, okay, this kind of sounds like a thing that will push it forward, right? That they will reintroduce the twigs, right? The skill trees of the characters. It will not be twigs anymore, but it will be kind of shrugs or a little bit something bigger. So I was like, okay, that's a good step. They will streamline the end game experience because they introduce a bunch of like end game systems that you could kind of delve into, but it was scattered. You didn't have a point where to start, what to do. Like, it was just a mess all over the place, and there was no structure to it at all. So War Plans announced. I was like, okay, that sounds interesting, at least, you know. I don't know how it will be, but I was interested to try. So I went for it. I went for the Lords of Hatred expansion. I bought it, right? And they were doing new classes, which is amazing, right? And I went for the Paladin. I was like, okay, this is cool. I will be the tanky Paladin that will go through and I will tank everything. I like that idea. And I went through the campaign, and I have to say, the campaign is the better part of the expansion. It's really good. There are still places that it's kind of weird that you are waiting for that happened so many times throughout the campaign that you are like, oh, I have to defend this, defend me. You are standing in the circle and you kill a few mobs and then we will move on. Then especially the Tyrael and the end, like he's shielding the lava always. Like yeah, there was certainly some of the points in the campaign that are like a weaker parts, but like aesthetics, all the scavels, right, all the islands that you are going through, I kind of enjoyed the whole experience of the campaign. It was ended, it was interesting. I like that. So campaign was nice. And then I went into the endgame, and I have to say that was the end of me. No, I went through it. I spent like 30 hours into the game, so I don't know, I have like 120 Paragon or something like that. I don't know. So I did a little bit deep, but not as much. You know, I have not really went so deep because the loop is still so shallow that after a while you are just doing all over the thing, like the one thing you're doing always, and then you are just doing it for the sake of doing it, because then you have the tiers, right, the torment tiers that you are going, and the baseline of this, you are getting wrecked by the monsters. So you get the new gear. The monsters are easy, so you will increase the difficulty. You are wrecked by the monsters. You will get better gear. You're wrecking the monsters, and you are doing this 12 times in a row. Then you will reach that like a Torment 10 or something, and then it's kind of like a plateau, right? You are like, okay, this is it. This is my build. So, and I feel that when I after a while you're doing the loop, you will see through this. I don't feel that there is so much like a hook that would hold me and be like, okay, there is something interesting at the end of that hook. I just have not felt that. So even so, I feel that the expansion is a step in the good direction, right? That they improve the baseline systems, they remove the sacred gear, so now you have just the ascension, so the gear is kind of not more interesting. Everything is more streamlined, but at least it feels when you drop the ancestral gear, you're like, oh my god, nice, when you are in that position. So there are good things. But what I found out is that the game is just not for me, you know. And what I mean by that is I feel there are three groups of people in this genre or whatever. There are like casual players, there are semi-blasters, and there are blasters. Blasters are people that are creating builds, they are just out there creating the guidelines for the other people. They are just on the precipice of the whole game. They are super going into it and creating and finding all those nitbits, how to change, how to optimize, and so on. Then you have the semi-blasters, that I feel that I am the group. I feel that I am the person that I'm trying to create my own build. I'm not really looking into any guides because I feel that's part of the progression to kind of mess up and, you know, trying to figure it out how to progress forward. But after I will reach the end game, I will be just less and less inclined to go because that loop have to be really cool for me to just kill the time, or just go for the hundreds and hundreds, just to kill enemies all over again, just to get a little bit better percentage on my gear, just to be slightly better. I just feel that they will lost me there. And then you have casual players that will never see any internet video, that will never engage in any kind of guide, they will never be in that kind of group. They have they will come from the home, they will sit on the couch, they will play for the 2 hours, and that's it. And they have a good time, maybe, right? Because when you create the game, that will be complicated. So there will be a lot of theory crafting possible. There will be a lot of different paths you can take to reach the kind of end. It will be super long. It will be, there will be a lot of hurdles in between, which is something for me and those blasters that would love to have more systems, more interesting things to go for. You will lose those casual players because they will not have time and energy to delve into it by themselves, because they will not look up any guide whatsoever. They will be just there sitting with themselves and what the hell is this system supposed to be? And that they will not get through, and they will just abandon the game. But here with the Diablo, I think it's tending for the longest time to the casual players. I think those are 95% people that playing the game are casual players. 5% maximum are the people that are really blasting and trying to they are upset that the system here is not great, or the endgame system is not fleshed out, there's not many options. Those are just a minuscule percent, and those are we on the internet. The others, I have friends around me that are enjoying the Diablo 4, and they are like, oh man, this is great game. It's just slaying monsters, and you are going through, you have that build, for example, the paladin, you're throwing shield, everything is destroyed, and you're going forward, and you have a good time. And I feel that's valid. That's absolutely valid, and it depends on the devs who they want to tend to, right? And I feel that they are tending to casuals because those are the ones that will buy the cosmetics, that will buy the expansions, they will just give them money. And that's in the end what the company wants, right? They want satisfied customers, but they want the satisfied customers that are paying them money. So the game is super well, I think it's in a great spot for the casual players, because the systems are streamlined. You have your character progression that is a little bit deeper now, but it's still really easy. Before you would choose one and then you have pick one of two. Now you will pick one of two, and one of three. That's it. And then you are just pumping points into one slot. The skill progression is super easy. And when you're getting through the campaign and stuff, you are introduced to variety of systems, but it's not really that complicated. And when you reach to the end game itself, you're just clicking the button. You have war plans, you will choose 5, and then you are teleport, and you are just slaying monsters. There is not much to it. But I feel that for some people it will be more than enough. They will like, alright, maybe I don't even want to care about runes, I don't want to even care about the gems, I don't want to temper my equipment maybe. That's maybe you should too much. The game is certainly streamlined as hell, which is a bad thing and a good thing at the same time, right? It certainly depends who you ask. But as for me personally, what I have problems with the RPGs is the endgame loop. The loop is just, for me, in variety of things, is just too shallow. Even the Path of Exile, the map system, is just, there is not interesting things to go for. And in Diablo, when we are talking about Diablo, I feel like they introduce the progression because they borrow it from the Path of Exile. You can progress the skills on the endgame systems themselves, so you can invest points and then you kind of alternate what is happening in that endgame activity. I think that's a good step to the right direction, but I feel in the end when you're playing that endgame loop quite a lot, I just feel that I see through and I don't feel that there is enough for me just to continue, because I'm continuing for sake of continue. Yeah, that's just not really what I'm looking for. Also, what I don't like in RPGs in general nowadays is the amount of loot. Now, you have it's crazy, right? Because when you have crazy amount of loot, which is dopamine hit as hell, right? When the shining through, the mythics are coming and legendaries, just everything is just popping out. and you're like, oh my god, this is awesome. But what is the first thing you will do? You will activate the loot filter because you don't want to see that much, because you don't care that much. You don't want to read through all of it. No, you want a specific thing that will be tending to your like need, especially Path of Exile, right? There's like crazy about the loot filter. You're activating loot filter when you start a game and you have not even like done 5 steps. And I feel that that's just, I don't know, I don't like it that much, because the amount of loot that you are getting is kind of diminishing the thing, the happiness of getting that one piece. For example, if I compare it, for example, to classic World of Warcraft, when you found your first like green item somewhere, when you like crafted your first item in the Orgrimmar or Stormwind for the first time, and it was just huge bump into your damage, it was amazing, right? That feeling of scarcity is awesome. It's just, it make it more special. Like, it's making it that every single thing matters more. If you are, because in campaign in Diablo 4, you just see the green of arrows, green and red, it's up and down, that's it. And you are just going through the inventory, you're clicking everything green, and that's it. You don't need to care about anything else, so you just drop and go through it. But I have to say, the amount of loot you're getting in the campaign is okayish. It's not overwhelming, but in the end game, oh yeah, you are sprayed on the loot, but with no purpose, because you will activate that loot filter just to get the only thing that you want. So I feel less loot would be way to go. I don't know, maybe I'm alone on this island, but not always to have a crazy amount of items dropping is the best solution. Have that possibility to drop the one item that is like, oh my god, this is it, crazy good. I feel it's better, but it's kind of going against the ARPG, because everybody kind of tend to this kind of group or mentality that the more loot is better. But for example, if you look, for example, for No Rest for the Wicked, they are kind of trying to go ARPG, but different route, and you are not dropping that much loot. You are the scale of killing thousands of enemies is getting smaller, and it's kind of cool. But I have to say again, it's based on what you prefer. That's what it is. What do you prefer? That's what it is. What I also don't like, and that's maybe more than the loot itself that I was talking about, is the fast progression. The fast progression is just so miserable experience. I feel that it's just something, you will start your character and there's some 5 hours, and not even that. I saw a video that someone opened 8 loot caches and he leveled up his character from 1 to 70 in like 5 seconds. I think it was Wujio, I think it was the video. That's insane. I feel like that's just losing all the progression, all the things that are making RPG. I know it's action RPG, but they have not have to be so much action that just shinies loot, like a loot is shining and you are leveling up. That's just too much action, to my opinion. Like, I think that the RPG is about the journey itself, and I feel that we just lost the journey. The journey is not there. It's about loop. You are getting to a loop as fast as possible. And I don't resonate with that. I would feel that you should be able to have the journey a little bit harder for you to reach the end game and be satisfied in that loop. Because nowadays you will level up that fast that you don't even care what the character is. You have not witnessed anything with the character. You have not like lived through any experience because you just arrived to the end game loop. And I feel that it's just losing so much. Again, I will return to my youth, right? When World of Warcraft was released, I was not able to pay for a sub. I was not able to pay for the game itself. So I was playing, or I was forced to be playing on the free service, right? And back in the day, the free servers were just so bad. There was something wrong happened, and they had to wipe out. So I remember that I was playing all the time. I was playing all the time, and I leveling up my character. And just out of nowhere, they announced that they have to be wiped. So they wiped my character, and I start over. I don't know how many. I don't know. I think it had to be 100 made more than 100 characters that I just level up, for example, to level 45, delete, 60, delete. And I just went for it all over again because the journey was the biggest and best part of the game, and they show it to us with the hardcore release. When the hardcore release with the World of Warcraft, the classic, all of the people were absolutely crazy about it. And why? To be about the character itself was higher than anything else. The journey was that the biggest selling point, because you reach level 10 and then you were just slain by the goblin, and next time you were like, oh my god, I have to be careful. You were not going into the dungeons with different people because you were like, okay, I might die with them. The connection that was created with the character you were like hoping for, I think it was so much better. And I have to say, the hardcore approach that I had with Diablo 4 was the best part or best decision that I had when it was started. I don't think that I would go for it now. I'm not interested anymore, but at the beginning, it was great because everything had more value. Every single gear that you found and you upgraded, it's just everything felt more real with that because you had stakes on the ground. Though the fast progression is just not my thing. But also what I don't like is that, I was mentioning it a few times, is that there is no kind of purpose in that end game. It will end with you slaying the main boss, and you will get to the war plants, and now you're like, okay, there are demons around here, we need to kill them. That's it. Like, okay. And you're just teleporting from one point to the other. You are running nightmare dungeons. Why? Why? What is the purpose behind that? I know, for some, and those are the Giga Chats, right? The Giga Blasters. They don't care. They don't care about what is the purpose. Purpose is to go for another one. Stop asking questions. Roll another nightmare dungeon. Go for the bigger torment. But for me, I feel I'm just missing that carrot on the stick or something. Why there is no kind of progression, like to create story behind the nightmare dungeons. To be something at the end, you will find those nightmare dungeons, you will collect something from them, and then you will unlock the biggest nightmare dungeon, and there will be special boss, for example. So now I have the carrot. I was like, oh, okay. So if I will be like farming that nightmare dungeons, there is some secrets, there are some things to uncover, there are some not loot, but the perks that I will get from it. There are some benefits. There are the upgrade of the war plans, right? Because you're farming that. I would just tend to go in that direction. Each of the endgame systems should have its own kind of purpose behind why you're doing that. And that should lead to something. And I feel that would be so much better because you would not be doing the Nightmare Dungeons for sake of doing Nightmare Dungeon. You would do it because you want to reach somewhere. I don't know if that makes sense, but that to me, it makes sense. Why would I go for a little bit deeper, a little bit better? You know, I would try to go a little bit more hardcore in that direction. So the state of the Diablo 4 for me right now is that there are interesting classes. All the classes that are now here, I don't like that Spiritborn that much. Like, I have to say that, but all the classes that are in the game are kind of interesting. Like the playstyles, the blasting with them is awesome. Like I had a really good time with the paladin to throw out the shield, and then I respec and I went for because I wanted to do it at the beginning, but you know, throwing a shield is kind of cool. But I saw that there is a throwing shield combination with the thorn, so I was like, oh my god, okay, so now those things two are combining. I will be throwing shield and I will be playing tank. So the fantasy and the build that you can build around is awesome. Like I really enjoyed going through that for those hours, and I feel that every single one of those classes will have appeal. I played a lot of Necromancer before, I played Barbarian, I played all of them, but you know, not as much as the others. So I have not played Warlock, so is it good? Is the Warlock good? I don't know. But yeah, the classes are certainly really, really nice. But the progression with them, that's a different story. Campaign, certainly upgrade from the last time, like the campaign in the Vessel of Hatred. Ooh, damn, that was not good. This one, yeah, there were stakes, there were interesting plotline, kinda, and there was conclusion to it, and it kind of went well. Yeah, a campaign, I'm down with it. They are trying to create some like the purpose behind, not purpose, that's not the word. They are trying to kind of mash all those endgame systems into some kind of plan for you, war plans for you to be able to follow something. Because before you had those systems scattered around, you open the map and it was crazy. If you have not played the Diablo for a long time, or you just never, and you would open the map, there was so many things on the map, like, okay, what is the end game system? Like, what do I need to do? What is this? What is that? Do I need to use keys for it? There are so many things, and it was not cohesively done together, and they are working on it. Hopefully, that's just the start, and they will just iterate on it. They are trying to go and deepen the systems in that. So the war plans and the first iteration that they just introducing is that you can, if you're doing that one activity many times, you are able to stack or have the skill points, and you are kind of alternating what it is doing. It's borrowed from a Path of Exile, but it's good. It's better than nothing. I would say that's a W. They improved the skill points that you are gaining throughout the levels, right? That you are getting when you're leveling up, and you have more choices to make. But it's kind of illusion, because the choices are not as like the theory crafting. I don't think it's that huge. And also they increase the level cap, but the level cap is doing what? It's just clicking one button 15 times, because they increase how much you can invest into the skills, and now you have 15 times. So you'll click the shield throw 15 times to have it stronger, or I don't know, just so there is not much really, but it's great to have something to click. I like that. Paragon board, that is the paragon that you are going for when you level up to 70, and then you have 200, or I don't know how many there are levels after that, 300 maybe? I don't know. I would be lying at that. But you have a paragon points that you can spend, and you have the board that you can turn around, and you are speccing them, and there are a bunch of other things that you can find. Not really. I don't like paragon boards, because it feels that you are just going through stats that have no meaning kind of at all. You just, hey, I see strength, I see intelligence, and you are getting those quite a lot, and then you will find something that it makes sense, that's actually like, hey, and everything is multiplier. That nothing crazy about that, right? Plus 20% damage. Okay, I can blast more. All right. Plus 10% of that, plus 2% to armor, plus everything is just plus percent. And there are a few of them, they are kind of changing, but nothing that would change how the things work, right? How you think about it. Why there is no node that you will pick, and now your speed will just, I don't know, do something. Your running will be changed, and you will be just phasing through. I don't know, just something that would change the whole thing. I don't know. It would be maybe better, but I just don't like the Paragon system that much. It's just something to do when you are in that endgame loop, and you're getting still the levels, and you can still click the points for the dopamine hit. But what is cool is that they are taking notes from the other ARPGs on the market, and they are trying to figure out their approach to it, and especially with the war plans and leveling up those endgame systems. I hope that they will just invest into to flesh out it more, and they are kind of leaving the overworld map, which was the main selling point of the Diablo 4. They have not wanted for you to teleport through the, from Nightmare Dungeon to Nightmare Dungeon, because they wanted you to go around the world. And now with the introduction of this system, they are like, no, you can teleport whatever you want. You are in the hub, you teleport in, teleport out, teleport in, teleport out, and that's it. You are not spending any minute in the overworld. Maybe when you're running once per some time the world boss or something. I feel that that's a missed opportunity. I feel that it was lacking in that regard, right? That there was nothing to do. There was only held tight at the beginning, and it was super. Now they kind of, there's a little bit better, right? But I feel that they should just introduce more systems into the overworld and for you just to run, right? And there will be interesting stuff happening all over the place. I think that will be cool, but that would take a lot of work, I guess. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you very much for being here. Thank you for that. Let me know what you think of Diablo 4 if you are a fan, or you are just, this is not for me. It's just too shallow. It's too bad. Diablo still bad. Diablo better. I hate it. I don't know. Let me know. I am interested. I'm watching the videos online, right? What the people are kind of think about the game, and they are kind of go with Diablo still bad. But I feel it's for some people, it's good. I have those people around me in my casual, like, not gaming circle, and they are kind of enjoying the Diablo. But for all the invested people on the internet, they want as best experience as possible. They are kind of like feeling that there is something missing. So yeah, let me know down below what's missing for you, and don't forget to subscribe. Have a great one, and I will see you next time. Bye.